Hi, friend. Today we're going to look at all the gear you're going to need as a musician to have a successful and high quality live stream show. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to need is a computer. This can be either a desktop or a laptop, Mac or PC. It really doesn't matter. Obviously, the higher the specs, the better when it comes to computers, but anything purchased within the last 2 to 3 years should do just fine. So just go ahead and use whatever you have for now. You're also going to need a strong internet connection, preferably hardwired using an Ethernet cable. So this means running an Ethernet cable to your modem to your computer rather than relying on Wi-Fi for your connection. This is going to give you a more stable connection and give you less dropouts. Now, I recommend you do a speed test for your internet connection so that you achieve at least 10 megabytes per second of upload and download speeds. I'll post a link in the description to a website where you can test your speeds. Now that we've got our computer and internet all settled, the next thing to do is to deal with the audio. So the first thing we're going to need is one or more microphones to capture our audio. If you're recording vocals, then I suggest you use a dynamic microphone, such as an SM58 like this. The advantages of using a dynamic microphone: for one, they're relatively cheap. A microphone like this will go for around $100. They're also less prone to plosives. So these are popping sounds from big breaths of air from your P's and your T's when you're singing or talking close to the microphone. And lastly, they don't capture a lot of room sound. So they only capture the sound that's directly in front of a microphone. So this is important when you're live streaming from home because unlike a commercial studio, you're not going to have a totally soundproof room. You might have some creaky floors above you, some road noise outside, or even your dog might start barking. So using a dynamic microphone is just going to help cut out those unwanted noises. Next, we're going to need an audio interface to get the signal from my microphone into our computer. So something like this. Now, the main thing to consider when looking at an audio interface is looking at how many onboard preamps there are. For this particular interface, we have 2 preamps at the very front, and this will allow us to plug in 2 microphones. So we'll be able to use 2 microphones simultaneously during our live streams. A lot of times you'll see an audio interface advertised as 4 inputs, but they'll only have 2 preamps on board, which is also the case with this one. So there's 2 line inputs at the back here. Now these won't accept a microphone signal, but they will, on the other hand, accept a 1/4-inch jack from a keyboard. Now that's something just to be aware of when you're looking at the specs for your audio interface. Another thing you want to watch out for, especially if you're buying secondhand, is to make sure that the audio drivers for your particular audio interface are still being supported by the manufacturer. A lot of times, audio manufacturers will stop supporting older products, and they might not work with the most up-to-date operating system. Now that we've got the audio into the computer, we need a way to monitor and hear ourselves. So for that, I recommend a set of headphones, something like this. Using headphones instead of speakers will help eliminate any chance of feedback during your live streams. Now, in order to get the best audio quality possible, I suggest that you mix and apply effects in your DAW before sending your audio to your live stream. This gives you the ability to add effects such as reverb, delay, EQ, and compression to your vocals and other instruments, and will ensure that you get the highest audio quality possible for your live stream shows. So that covers everything for the audio side of things. Now let's move over to video. Now, if all you have is the built-in webcam on your computer, then please go ahead and use that. But if you want the most flexibility and options for your video, then consider using a DSLR camera, something like this. Chances are you might already have one. By using a DSLR camera, you'll be able to zoom in and out so you can frame your shot just the way you like it. You'll be able to adjust your depth of field, your brightness, and your shutter speed as well. Now, if you're using anything other than your built-in webcam, then you're going to need a way to get that video signal into your computer as well. Most DSLR cameras will let you put them in webcam mode using USB. For this, you'll need to go to the manufacturer's website and download the accompanying webcam software for your specific camera. The other option, if your camera has a clean HDMI output, is to use what's called a capture card, like this. So with one of these, you simply plug in an HDMI cable into your camera, and the other end will go into the capture card, and then the other end of the capture card is USB, which will go into your computer. And now with all of that, you'll be able to capture professional quality audio as well as professional quality video for your live stream shows. Now, if you don't already have all this gear, I suggest you get started with what you do have and slowly upgrade as you go. A lot of this gear is going to help you outside of live streaming as well. You'll be able to record your own demos at home and help improve your songwriting. So I highly suggest making the investment. If you want to learn more live streaming tips and tricks for musicians, make sure to download my free Live Streaming Like a Pro Quick Start Guide by following the link in the description below. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.